All right, thank you, everyone. This is the February 19th meeting of the Kingston Police Commission. We're going to call this meeting to order at 4:05 p.m. Thank you all for being in attendance today. In terms of public speaking today, we don't have any public speaking signups or anyone here from the public to speak. So we're going to move on to reviewing the minutes from the last meeting. So can I have a motion to dispense the Commissioner Mapes? Do I have a second? Commissioner Davis, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Communications, I think we did one communication that came in. You've got that handy, right?
This is one sent to the police commission and the women followed up a positive email about the interaction they had with Officer Orsiello. This was dated February 1st. And then she sent an update email, but she sent it February 12th about the officers, and then she just wanted to make sure that we got it. But that an aggressive driver was violent and wanted to mount he said that he pulled up, the officer got out and had a long talk with the driver and then came over and spoke to us. And Jeremy Arcel did a great job, put everybody at ease. And that's a good thing.
There you go. Thank you, Chief.
Absolutely.
I don't think we had any other communications. So, report of the chief.
You should have a copy of the sick time report for January. We can discuss that if we need to in executive session. But pretty straightforward with the explanation on that. Manpower's out of where it's supposed to be. We're up, budgeted for 73. We got 73. They're all working, all hands on deck. They're finishing their last week of field training, but they're actually been cut loose and count on the schedule. So at this point, there's nobody in the field training program that doesn't count, which is a big plus for us. We do have one, possibly two members that may be activated with the National Guard in case that happens with the local. But other than that, manpower is where it's supposed to be. So we're doing pretty well there.
So under new business, we do have you want to give us a report on our new traffic safety unit?
Yeah, so the traffic safety unit, we got two officers, Officer Oliver Menon and Officer Brandon North, essentially working day shift hours, although they can vary them as to the needs of the department. And so far to date, they started in the second week of January, and they've done 455 traffic stops, issued 424 tickets, 165 warnings, and 16 arrests. It's impressive. Yeah, I got to tell you, it's pretty impressive. And about half of them are Kingston residents that are being stopped. So that's a good number. The 4 to 12 shift and the midnight shift are also doing well. They too are about 400 stops combined with about 200 tickets issued. So they're not tracking the Kingston residents, but so we are definitely working on the traffic safety programs here. So men in the north are scheduled to attend a couple of trainings this year that'll put them in a better spot when it comes to traffic enforcement, traffic education, car seat installation, stuff like that. So
does it break it down what the stops are? Does it break down?
I don't have that breakdown here, not to that detail, but I can actually do that. Yeah, the most recent was a traffic stop that was essentially a person was driving in the parking lane, and they pulled him over, made a stop, and one thing led to another, and they found a fraudulent plate, and Freeman just put it out there, but it was a plate that the person used for a transporter plate, and they had whited it out and used black magic marker to kind of, from a distance, it looks good, right? It's moving through traffic, but the officers were sharp enough to pick up on it. It was all the vendor that had the plate issued, and so we haven't issued that plate in months. So they were able to track it down and resulted in an arrest. And you got to tell you, they're doing a great job. They really are. We are assigned up to the GW today. There were some complaints about speeders through the work zone, the school zone, and they wrote some tickets up there. So I mean, there's the expression, right? You can't catch all when you go fishing. You catch all the fish. There's a lot of fish out there, but they're doing it, right? The numbers are showing it. So I'm very thankful that they're.
Nothing but positive response to the community.
Yeah, I have not received a single complaint. In fact, I've gotten 2 voicemails left on my phone that were transferred to Lieutenant Negron, who oversees this program. And both of them they got issued tickets, believe it or not. But we're very thankful that the officers are professional. They explained the procedure like it was well done. So that's good, yeah. Yeah, the mayor knows, you probably heard me say it a couple of times already in the last couple of weeks, but procedurally just and professional. Those are the 2 things we have to remain on these traffic stops. Otherwise, we'll lose the public, right? So, and both of these officers are exceptional in the delivery. So it's good to see it, very good to see it.
I had the opportunity on Friday to go out with them. I went out with Officer Menon, on Friday morning, spent 3.5 hours out in the patrol car, getting to actually watch him work. And it was really great again to see him interact with all of the different individuals that he stopped, and to be able to, both educate and enforce, was a really big part of this. And also for me to be able to see like how important the technology that we have has been really helpful to our officers. The fact that we have, the new dash cam system that allows us to pick up license plates automatically. So we're able to throw up red flags on the computer. If we go past a car that has like some sort of warrant out for it, or, some sort of amber or silver alert, or, it's really, that was great to be able to see. And, to also just be able to see that, for the 10 or so vehicles that we pulled over, that, I was able to talk to some of the folks we were pulling over to explain, what they did wrong, and, that we had this new 25-mile-per-hour speed limit, and that they were going 35 and a 25, and, to be able to also talk to people about rolling through stop signs and how dangerous that can be for everyone at the intersections, and how it's just, it's still against the law in New York State to use the handheld cell phone, which you think people would know by now. So it was just, it was really good for me to be able to just see that work happening. And every time the person who we stopped was honest with the officer, you know what I stopped you for? Yes, I do. I was using my cell phone, or I was probably speeding, and I think that was also really good to see. Like, it's about building that community, and it's about building those relationships. And, our job is not to penalize individuals, but it really is to kind of keep the community safe. And when I went to all of my ward meetings, like what I heard time and time again was just, Mayor, people are driving too fast through the neighborhood. They're causing issues. I'm scared to let my kids go outside, and people are flying down the street and they don't care. And, now we're able to respond. And what I've said and what we've said, and it is very helpful for us to be able to be told by our neighbors, what's happening, because we're not able to be everywhere all at once. But, similar to what happened on GW, we talked to parents, we talked to the crossing guard, and the crossing guard was like, yeah, I'm having issues at this location. So we set up there, and sure enough, there is issues at that location. And, we'll continue to set up there as long as we need to until people get the message that, we're going to be out there. And, thankfully, the common council has been very supportive of the police department's budget with our requests, and being able to get some additional vehicles on the way that have some more of this technology in them to make it easier for our staff to do enforcement. But I do want to just give a shout out to Lieutenant Negron. He's really been great working, with the staff, and, to help get this program up and running, and, is 110% behind, this type of effort, to just really increase safety. So it's a win-win, I think, for our community. So.
From Washington Avenue, you got people coming from the.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Washington Avenue is on the hot list,
Through
the Boulevard, East Chester Street, Broadway, Hurley Avenue, we've got these big gateways of people coming in, and, we've worked to do some engineering to try to slow people down, and that's really, one way, and it's an important way, is for us to change the design of these streets to slow people. But there are people who will just break the law, regardless of what we try to do to slow people down. We put in these speed tables, and we've still seen people speeding over the speed tables just to see how much air they can get in their car, right? And so it's super dangerous, and that's what we kind of need to, come down on them. So that's just one of the things that, yeah. So thanks for that, Chief.
Yeah, that's great. Great program.
And so, the only other, well, I guess this is actually more, unfinished business. I don't think we have anything in executive session. We don't have any use of force or any complaints to review this month. And so I think the only other update that we can give is just that, our officer that, we, suspended, is still out on sick leave. And so that's really all, the only update that we have, and we don't have anything else, to update you all on until, you know, he's back to work, so. And we can go through that process with the union and our, you know, disciplinary process, but that's our update. I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have any other questions?
One other point
Yeah.
is just a matter of reference, and so this happened on February 1st, and it's definitely noteworthy. The officers responded to a 76-year-old male unconscious and unresponsive in town, and Officer Hefner and Vada were both there. They started CPR just before EMS got there, and the subject became conscious and transported him to the hospital. So, yeah, life-saving. Go to them. They did a great job with that. Absolutely 100%. Yeah, for them. Good jobs.
Great. All right. That's all we have on our agenda. Thank you, everybody. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All right, thank you. All right, all in favor? Aye, all right. Thank you all very much.